If you are nervous about presenting in front of an audience, this video will 100% help. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 tips. So 4 things that you can do to make sure that you don't let the nerves get the better of you. And the good thing is, the more you do these things, the better you're going to feel about speaking in front of an audience, and the more you're going to learn how to deal with those nerves. Sound good? Cool, let's get into it. Please, as always, do subscribe to this channel, and please do let me know in the comments below what topics you'd like me to cover. I film videos every week and I post videos on a Tuesday and Friday. The first thing that you can do to look more confident when you're speaking in front of an audience and therefore feel more confident is think about your posture. When you're nervous and a bit fearful and you're worrying and all that adrenaline is just coursing through your body, it's really hard to stand up straight. Now that may sound weird, but if you're very nervous, this is what you will start to do. Your shoulders start to sink slightly. Your posture moves down and down. You're kind of getting smaller and smaller. And that does nothing to make you feel good. What you need to do is imagine you've got a piece of string from the top of your head to the ceiling and it's pulling you up all the time. So you're really thinking about elongating that neck, lifting that chin, shoulders down. Now, if you stand with posture that is more confident, even if you're not feeling confident inside at the start, I promise you, you will feel better. But if you allow your shoulders to start caving in like this and you start to get smaller and smaller, you will do nothing to get rid of those nerves. What you need to do is almost attack them with your posture, which I am aware sounds ridiculous, but it does work. So when you're feeling nervous, stand as if you're confident and it will make a difference. When you're nervous, it can be hard to know what to do with these. You find when you're very, very nervous, you become very self-conscious, and the way you might usually use your hands, maybe like I do, I use my hands a lot when I talk. When you're in front of an audience, you just don't know what to do with them. Well, here's what you do. You take one hand and you simply put your other hand over it. So you're kind of cupping your hands lightly. You then want to take your elbows and rest them slightly kind of on your hips. If you've got big hips, that works, but you want them like at hip level. And then you simply put your hand one on top of the other, like I just showed you. Now what that allows you to do is, well, first of all, it gives you somewhere to put your hands when you're nervous. But importantly, once you calm down and you're on stage in front of an audience and you want to use your hands, you can do so very, very easily. If you let your hands drop to your sides, it's incredibly hard to bring them into play because everything feels like a massive gesture, and we never stand with our hands loose like this down the side of our legs. Well, most people don't. So just by putting your hands like this, placing them in this way, it means you don't have to worry about them when you're already worried about presenting on stage. It goes from one extreme to the other when you're nervous. You might not know what to do with your hands, but what you may find is your feet just can't stop moving. When we are nervous and the adrenaline is rushing through our body is saying move. And if you're on a stage, what tends to happen is you start moving back and forth, back and forth. And you've probably all seen it. It's like a caged lion prowling around the stage. Now, I'm all for moving around the stage. I think using the stage is a great thing. But when you start prowling back and forth, it looks weird. It's actually really distracting from the audience as well, and it will do nothing to calm your nerves down. So what you want to do is lock out. What does locking out mean? Well, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, what's comfortable for you, and imagine your feet have been glued to the floor. They're completely glued, you can't move them, you're not going anywhere. Then you can simply put your hands in the way I suggested. Your elbows are by your sides, loosely resting on your hips, And all of a sudden, you're in a great position to start your presentation. You're also thinking about your posture. This is a great place to start your presentation. It also gives you the time to calm down. If you continue to move around the stage, if you spend time worrying about where your hands are, if you allow your posture to curl in on itself, the nerves have got the better of you and you're not going to feel good about the performance. To beat them, you have to apply these things. You have to do things differently. So when you're feeling nervous about your next presentation, just before you walk on stage, practice this. Stand as if you're confident. Put one hand on top of the other hand, elbows at your hips, and let your hands rest loosely. Then think lockout. Imagine those feet are glued to the floor. Imagine those feet are glued to the floor. When you walk out on stage or when you stand to speak in the meeting room or the classroom, wherever you find yourself, take up that position again. Give yourself a moment to let the nerves dissipate, calm down, think about your breathing, breathe nice and slowly, and then when you feel comfortable, you can move, you can use your hands, and the real you will come into play. The final thing that you can do to look and feel more confident is smile. It sounds really cheesy, but it makes a massive difference. In fact, if you do all those things that I've talked about and smile, I promise you, you will deliver the best performance you have ever delivered and you will feel better about it. There's only one real way to beat the nerves, and that's to get out there and do it. So please let me know in the comments below if any of these tips work for you, and let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, here's a link to some more. Please do subscribe because I'll be uploading videos weekly.